Scrolling through the Twitter sphere yesterday, I found an article that really grabbed my attention by Dexerto. And mind you, Dexerto, it's kind of like, I guess, the new age Kotaku. It's one of those like, ooh, we're going to grab your attention. But this one really grabbed my attention due to the fact that they were talking about how players are now wanting to be ID verified to play online to get away from cheaters. And my question is, why the fuck aren't these companies doing their job? Why aren't they updating their security? Why aren't they, fill in the blank and, preventing these cheaters from getting into the games? But this article is talking about how a study was done. And we're going to take a look at the company that did the study. So let's talk about it, you guys. So this is the article at hand. Study shows most players would do identity checks to prevent cheating in games. Me personally, I'm not about to do that. There is absolutely no reason why my ID should be floating out there in the nether of the internet to prevent cheaters from getting into Call of Duty lobbies, Fortnite lobbies, fill in the blank of whatever game you play, right? A new survey has suggested that the majority of players would be willing to verify their identity online if it meant being able to play games in a cheat-free environment. We should be able to play in a cheat-free environment regardless of whether my ID is provided or not, right? The 2025 study carried out by the PlaySafe ID, which this is going to play a big factor into this, polled over 2,000 people, which is a very, very small sample size in my opinion. If there is this survey going out, it should be canvassing 200,000 people, not just 2,000 people, if that makes any sense. In the UK and the US, the report found that 73% of players would accept an identity verification process to ensure matches are free of cheaters. But why? But why? That's the question that is kind of irritating me. Why is there an identity verification process for this? It doesn't make sense that this is even being proposed. The same study found that 80% have encountered cheaters in online titles, and 55% have either reduced or completely stopped spending on in-game purchases because of it. I mean, I've ran into my share of cheaters, and you just gotta keep having fun. And the reduction of spending money on in-game purchases, there's nothing wrong with that. You're saving money because a lot of this is just cosmetics. A lot of this is just a total crock of bullshit that they're wanting you to buy, $100 worth of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle skins in Call of Duty, but they're not willing to update their freaking anti-cheat software. It's because they're spending all their time making skins. The result comes during a time of renewed conversation around prevalence of cheating in competitive online games. Which, I mean, that's always been an issue. But at the end of the day, hold those people accountable. IP ban those individuals. Ban said console. Ban said PC. Whatever it is. It's really not that hard. The first round of Battlefield 6 open beta was affected by a wave of cheaters, prompting EA's anti-cheat team to respond, confirming that anti-cheat measures have blocked more than 330,000 attempts to do so. Why can't Call of Duty do that? Anyways, here's the real quick survey for PlaySafe ID. 80% of gamers have encountered cheaters online right there. 73% of gamers would be happy to verify themselves in order to play without cheaters. 55% of gamers have either reduced or stopped spending on in-game purchases because of cheating. Why is that even a question on this survey when you're talking about ID verification? This is 2013 gamers in the US and UK, most likely to play first-person shooters, sports games, and casual games. 82% of players play games multiple times a week. Okay. 83% of gamers would be more likely to play a game that is credibly promoted as being cheat-free, and 79% of gamers agree that penalties for cheating should apply across multiple games, which I 100% agree with. Because, I mean, look at the streamer space. There's people out there that piss off Ninja, and then Ninja turns around and bans him and Tim the Chatman and all of his friends' chats. And I mean, the thing of it is all right, you get caught in an EA game cheating, just ban them across all EA games. I don't have a problem with that because I'm 100%. I play straight up. I'm very, as you can tell, I don't use cheats. I suck. But I like to have fun. And if I run into a cheater, so fucking be it. The only time, anyways, the report is also highlighted that 40% of respondents had considered quitting a game entirely due to persistent cheating, while 83% said they would be more likely to play a title if it was credibly promoted as a cheat-free. One fascinating statistic found that 79% of users believe penalties for cheating should carry over multiple games, which I 100% agree with. But the Activision EA publishers of gaming's most popular first-person shooters have invested substantial resources in tackling prevalence of cheating in Call of Duty, Battlefield, and Apex Legends. I call bullshit on that because Activision's too busy making skins that they don't really do much about it. Some games like Valorant use kernel-level anti-cheat. Do I agree with kernel-level anti-cheat? Not really. But this is something that we're going to dig into. We're looking at the statistics here. 80% of people caught cheaters. 73% are happy to release their identification material to this thing. So I type in PlaySafe ID. And this is what comes up. This is a Forbes article from May 23rd, 2025 this year. PlaySafe ID secures $1.1 million to tackle cheating safety in gaming. So as I go through this, it's a venture capital group that is trying to get into the gaming sphere. Now, do I agree with surrendering your ID to prevent cheating? No. Do your fucking job. Like, it's not that fucking difficult to do your goddamn job and make a game that's good, that you have security on, that prevents cheating. But as I scrolled through this article, where is it? I do agree with one thing, and that is to do this, it's basically an oversight that makes a child safe environment. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think if they were to market themselves as the way to basically to catch predators, I would be 100% down with that. But instead, you're over here fucking marketing this shit to surrender your ID so that you can play in a cheat-free environment. No, I don't agree with that. Surrender your ID, and if you're caught doing something shady as fuck, they're going to come for you. I agree. If you're over there, doing some shady shit and you're trying to keep a child-friendly environment that's safe, I'm cool with that. I think that's a great fucking idea. But like I said, telling me to surrender my ID and then giving me statistics that people have 55% of players have reduced their spending on in-game purchases. I don't fucking care about that. The problem I have is, this company wants me to surrender my ID so we could play in a cheat-free environment when the cheat-free environment should be provided by the game developers and the publishers of the game, not by some fucking third-party venture capital group that's going to come in and try to build a trusted lair for gamers. Like, that to me, it just does not sit right with me. I always hate when I hear, hey, by the way, we're doing X, Y, and Z because we have a third party fill in the blank here. It just, no, shut up. Like, this is just wrong on so many levels, and I just do not agree with it at all. I want to hear y'all's thoughts, because like I said, to me, I shouldn't be surrendering my ID. This should not be a third-party app. This should not be a third-party company coming in and asking for my ideas so I can play games online in a cheat-free environment, brother. It's just another way for them to collect my information. This is wrong on so many levels. Like I said, if you're using it for good to catch predators, I'm down for that. But if you're using it to gather my information to sell it for third-party apps so that you can make money and market it to me as a cheap free environment, get the fuck out of here. Anyways, I want to hear y'all's thoughts down in the comment section below. It just really it aggravated me when I saw this. Y'all take it easy. Have a great and wonderful day. And thank you again, Twitter, for giving me something to rant about. Anyways, you guys, y'all take it easy. I'll see you tomorrow.